Still like stalking your Instagram. I love your cabin pictures, like your
From
aerial
Blue Ridge.
shots. Yes.
So this
Pretty.
year will be different. We'll have to see how it goes.
I remember you saying that it was going to be different this year.
Yeah. So this year, I have not divulged the location to Emily because she's a planner and it drives her nuts not to know. And so it's
You're just gonna be that way.
it's just my method of torment up until we get closer to time. So day after Christmas, 26th through the new year.
Boxing Day.
Yeah. So this year, instead of doing Blue Ridge, we're going to do Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Supposedly,
She would know that if she listened to your podcast.
She would, because I've mentioned it before too. And it's because we talked about it 2 or 3 weeks ago when I talked about the scheduling being different this year because school was still in session the week prior to Christmas. So instead of going before Christmas, we're having to go after Christmas this year. But my hope is that the location is scenic enough that I can do some more drone shots like those in that location. We'll see. I'm kind of concerned about what the surrounding area might look like depending on how hard it was hit with Helene and everything that came through. But reservation's still intact. Owners we've messaged a little bit. We haven't talked about whether everything is still in one piece because I didn't want to be, hey, I know you might be dealing with all sorts of damage and all, but like, is my vacation still good kind of thing?
Right. Well, I mean, I got to imagine if nothing else, it's like, hey, we need, if they can support it, they need to have as many guests as possible. They need to not lose that income stream.
And the big thing from my perspective is since then I had to reschedule it because I had it booked the week prior to Christmas, and they rescheduled it without a problem. And there was a difference in fee structure because of, the days that fell, but it's like, yeah, no, I'm fine with that. I expected that. This is just my failure to look at a calendar. And so rebooking and accepting that change to me says that, hey, at least our stuff is standing. You still can have your trip without a problem. There might be some impact to travel to different areas still, and there might be some businesses who haven't opened or have decided to close permanently or whatever. But I think by then the desire will be to have that influx of money from tourism because it will have been enough time without a lot of that I'm hoping I timed it right. We'll see. Either way, though, it should be a fun trip because honestly, our big thing is just to stay in the cabin and spend time, downtime anyway. So I don't think it's really going to matter one way or another. But we had kind of gotten tired of Blue Ridge because we had explored all of it multiple times now. And while we love the area, love the restaurants, still would enjoy doing the same things we've done, we decided last year when we went, we decided, you know what? I kind of want to do something different, but I still want it to be a cabin. Like that's the piece that I want to hold on to is let's still do a cabin trip around Christmas as our tradition because it makes sense and we've enjoyed it. But let's kind of move the location around some. And so this year, we'll see how it goes.
Good.
I'm looking forward to it, though. My biggest requirement I think we talked about this before on an episode too. Like my requirement for a cabin, I want it to be cold and I want a hot tub.
Yes.
Even better if it snows, but cold, hot tub.
Yes, those are. I have the same requirements. Yeah, most definitely.
I've actually been looking at hot tubs to put out here and wondering if I could get away with it. Because my problem here is I can't do just a hot tub. I would have to pour a separate cement slab and make a wellness corner that would have like hot tub, sauna, outdoor shower.
Plunge.
Yeah. And so you start talking about doing all those different things. It's like, well, shit, I can't afford that.
Yeah, no. I think about that mansion from time to time, but I was like, if I had the means, I still don't think that's where I would live. I just want to borrow somebody else's whenever I want to.
Right. And like if I put a shed up to move the lawn equipment, I could do, temporary cold plunge and temporary sauna in the garage and actually make it fit. At some point, I need to finally do the whole cold plunge thing. I imagine I would feel better. God, I hate cold water. I I've read so much though about benefits and like I get it, but damn, why does it have to be cold? Why can't it be hot water?
Yeah. Like I like the hot tub so much that I found somebody who had the best justification, rationalization for sitting in the hot tub, and that was he said before he would go lift weights, he's like, I go sit in the hot tub or the sauna so that I could get my muscles warm, so I didn't have to do cardio. And I was like, that makes sense.
I don't know if I can rationalize that to my spouse for a couple of grand though. That's the problem.
No. Yeah, no, yeah. Again, I was using somebody else's hot tub.
Yeah, I would love to have the wellness retreat thing. I think it would be great. And I think I would use it. I really do.
No,
it's
I
just,
think you would. Yeah, no, I don't think there's no doubt in my mind that you wouldn't use it.
I just needed to be able to afford to do it a decade ago to really get my money's worth.
Right.
Side piece that may or may not enter. Did I see that you got the test flight invite without a problem?
I did, and I started trying to use the app, and
okay.
Yeah. So let me ask you some questions because I forgot about this because I wanted to. So I got this test flight, and I saw that it updated, and so when I go to I'm on the journal page. I go to the plus, and you have a back and a cancel button there. I should send you a message on that. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not.
Well, it's also changed.
Oh, I'm on 1.1.1.
Yeah. I have a version that I've been messing with for a day and a half that is trying to solve an edge case that I have, but my UI tweaks are in that version as well.
Okay. Well, so what I was trying to do was like add a journal event, and when I finish, like if I put in information, I felt like I don't know if I saved it or not, or if I had the ability to save just yet. So I don't know what I do now. Add session. And when I do add session, I don't know how to go find it again.
Well, this doesn't sound like what I have. So hold on.
Okay.
Let me, I think this one's running the right version.
Let's see, where's my version? I need to make sure you know what version I'm on. 1.1.1.
So when you add one, you have entry type and then fields. Are you?
Yes. Yeah. So if I go put in, I don't know what GI versus no GI.
GI and no GI, and that's just
whether
I figured it was. Yeah, it's whether you're wearing the traditional martial arts style uniform or not.
I figured it was something related to the sport.
Yeah.
So if I fill in, if I fill everything in, and I should be taking a.
Well, if you fill everything in and you press add session at the bottom, that should save the entry.
Okay, so I do add session, but then how do I? So when I go, it takes me back to the journal.
And you should see that session in the journal entry.
Okay, that's the problem. I don't see the session in the journal entry.
Interesting, because I have not had that behavior.
I'll do a screen recording so that you can see and maybe see if it's something I'm doing, something that you need to change. Something, whatever it is.
Which model phone are you on?
15 Pro.
On 18.1.
Yeah, whatever is the most. I think it's 18.11.
Yeah.
It's the most recent non-beta release.
So that's what my development phone is on.
Yeah.
The only difference, well,
your 16 Pro?
No, I'm using a 15 Pro for test.
For dev, okay.
And then my 16 Pro, I get the test flight beta so that I can make sure there's no difference between the dev beta or the ad hoc dev version running and the test flight version.
So for your test phone, the 15 Pro that you're using for your test phone, are you compiling and then side loading it?
Yes.
And then your everyday carry phone is you're using test flight.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. I loved your terms and conditions. Or your privacy policy.
Privacy policy, yeah.
Yeah, I showed Becca, and she got a laugh out of it too.
So what I wasn't sure of is whether the test flight thing would happen without the app being approved, because in order to do the external beta test stuff and create that group, I had to go through all of the motions for submitting for approval. And then when I was looking at it and I expired some stuff and withdrew my submission and then submitted a different build, I noticed that I had 3 installs or 3 invites. 3 invites, that's what it was, for the most recent beta. And that's what keyed me into, oh, so you must have gotten that. It's just that I have to have it tied to this like public submission process or app review process. It doesn't actually have to go through the review process. So it's interesting kind of learning the bits and pieces there. But yeah, I've been hacking away at I was running a previous version, entered all of my information from the past 2 years in, and saved the data, and I can't import it no matter what for the life of me. And I will get to the point where I have that fixed. Like I now understand kind of the problem, and so I have the data saved off, and I'm working through it. But the problem I kept encountering was, as I was trying to make changes to the import process, it would fuck up other things because I was giving the tools more latitude in addressing things than I meant to. And so I finally said, look, kind of typed a message to the AI thing doing its thing, saying, look, don't fucking change shit unless I tell you to. I don't want any functionality changes. I don't want any aesthetic changes. I only want this one function being investigated. And when I realized that I had to be that narrow in what I was asking for, now I'm iterating through, okay, the current version needs to have a version number assigned to the schema and everything else so that it can import export from this version forward, no problem. And I'm getting that working first. Then I can go back and say, okay, I have this old data set that needs to be imported. Let's build a separate importer for it. It's an edge case. It's really only ever going to impact me. Right. But I want to make sure it works as well so that I can then use that if I have some future change that really changes the data structure in a similar way. I'll already know how to address it. And so eventually I'll get there. But I've learned through this entire process that not only do I have to make sure it works for the iPhone, even though I have no plans to support iPad use, there's not a way to say in the submission process, don't touch it on an iPad, because they apparently decide to use iPad minis for app review, whether you want them to or not. And so I have to make sure my UI stuff works in an iPad and the form factors as well, even though I don't plan to support it, because the app was rejected for the App Store because of rendering issues on an iPad mini. Dumb. I mean, it's annoying, but at the same time, it's like, I get it. Like, even though I don't plan to support it, that is a legitimate use case that I could see someone deciding, you know what, I don't have an iPhone, I have an Android, but I have an iPad and I really want to use the app. You know what? I'm okay with that. As long as it's understood that I don't expressly support it, but I will make every effort to accommodate it that doesn't go out of my way. Okay. It's enough of a shared code base. I can get on board with that logic. And I realistically, for my use case, I should probably support tablet entry as well, based on the nature of the app. I just don't want to. And so,
I mean, you don't want to right now, but that's a good.
It's a very legitimate use case.
It's a good 2.0 release.
And realistically, if the only reason it got rejected was for some UI UX tweaks to make it work appropriately on the iPad, that's a problem that I should address anyway, because I should have my stuff scaling appropriately for the phone, regardless of which phone. So I think that's why it didn't really annoy me as much as the tools that I've been using annoyed me with all the fucking
Oh, yeah.
backtracking and tweaks. And like, I can't tell you how many different versions of this app I have built at this point, because it's changed things and I've spent so much time getting it back to the functional version that I wanted, that now every time I get something working, I create an archive of the folder and
Oh, man.
and stamp it with the date and what version it is in my running list of versions that I'm going to have, even though we're still only on 1.1.1. Like, I'm up to version 10 in my archives. So,
Oh my. Are you using Git for version control?
sort of. I mean, am to an extent, but not for the versions that I was talking about. So I'm doing it old school with regard to, all right, everything's working the way I want. I'm going to copy the folder. I'm going to archive it. That way, worst case scenario, I can just overwrite everything in the folder or whatever. And then once I have 2 or 3 versions of those and I have it working the way I want, I commit to Git. So it's kind of an in tandem type thing.
Yeah, well, it's like I get that, because it's like it's like here are all my rough drafts. Now I'm ready to write my paper, and that's what gets committed to Git.
It's a good way to think of it.
You don't get rid of the rough drafts. They're rough drafts. They were never intended to see the light of day. They were never intended to be submitted.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing that I've noticed is that I have too many times where this is one change, and this is a really, really minor change in the grand scheme of things, but I don't want to lose all the different things I went through to get to this point, even though all it does is like fix one UI page or something. So I create that archive, but it's like, I don't know that that's enough for me to commit everything yet. Like, I have this other stuff, Yeah.
You're doing manual JHeart version control.
Yeah.
In between your official version control submissions.
But the big positive is that right now, all of my core feature functionality works in the version that I have. It's not the version that's committed to test flight, because I've made some other tweaks, but in the version that will be committed in the next 24 hours or so, all of the core functionality works. I am finally back to the point of validating current version, import, export, backup, restore, making sure it works from this point forward without a problem. Then I'll commit all that, get it updated, and get it locked in. Then I'll just work on restoring my shit off to the side until I finally get it working. I may or may not ever commit that version, but at least I'll finally have my data that I spent time inputting over a couple of days restored back so that I don't have to just start over. The positive out of that experience is that I've figured out what messed me up, and so I implemented that version control and schema stuff already. That as long as the current import, export, backup, restore functionality validates as I finish testing it, that should not be an issue for anybody else who actually uses the app. It's just going to affect me during the development. At least I hope that ends up being the case.
Yeah, that would be good.
Did you notice in my testing notes, I even added a reference to, I may have fixed the bug that wiped out data?
I did not.
Yeah. It was toward the end. It was at the bottom. No, it was in the testing notes that pop up when you install from test flight. I didn't really expect you to read them. I typed them for me. My hope is that at least within the next day or so, I will finally be able to start grabbing some people from the gym to test as well. I need to be comfortable that import-export works when I move it across devices before I'm confident in doing that. That's the big thing. For the same version, without a problem, I know import-export works, but I need to find ways to monkey with it to see if it works with an incremental version. The positive out of all of it, though, is that I'm just writing to JSON, so worst case scenario, if it really came down to it, I could write some ad hoc out-of-band script to monkey with the data to make it match what I need to make match to import it in. Like, I'm just trying to avoid going that route.
I can understand why. It's it sounds like a fair amount of work to do that. Like it feels like it's like it feels like there's it's a lot of squeezing, not a lot of juice, but I have to do it anyway because they ordered orange juice.
But the biggest thing is it only affects me. Like, there's a certain point where I'm looking at it and it's like, nobody else is going to have this particular edge case. Do I really want to keep spending time to fix it? And of course the answer is yes, because I want my fucking data.
Yeah. That's what you would expect any self-respecting developer to do.
Yep. So I'll eventually get there.
Like, I know it only affects you, but like I get it. Like I would be doing the exact same thing. It's like fuck the laws of diminishing returns. I'm gonna do this.
Well, and if I get it working, then I don't have to worry about it ever again anyway, because I'll have a model. Because like what I'm doing now is I'm versioning it so that I have import-export from the app itself, right? And then legacy import-export, where when I finally get the previous data set working the way it wants, I can handle both without a problem, even though nobody else is ever going to be running the legacy version. It's principle. I need it to handle both stages without a problem.
Yeah. At the end of it, I mean, if nothing else, you're going to learn something.
I learned a hell of a lot about how finicky autocomplete can be. That was a bastard of a feature to implement, let me tell you.
Are you talking about in Xcode?
Just no, I'm talking about within the app, like autocomplete as you're typing in a field, and then you can select from an autocomplete entry.
Oh.
That gave me nightmares for a couple of days. Because I have different fields that I autocomplete in different ways. So I know you haven't spent a lot of time with it, but like the instructors field will autocomplete based on previously entered data. Same thing with the location field. Yes. So if you type, my name as an instructor, for example, first time...
I did, and it did pop up.
Right. So the first time it didn't, obviously, because I wasn't there. But the second time it will. And that was easy enough. But when you get into like tags and techniques where you could have 2 or 3 different things on the same line and handling comma-separated values, or whether you do it that way or whether you do it a different way, like, man, that opened up a whole world of problems that I just did not expect. And it took so many iterations to finally get it to handle tags and techniques in a way that felt natural and didn't give me headaches with, well, shit, I mistyped this and now I have to delete a whole bunch of stuff and do this and do this. And it just... I was amazed at how difficult that feature alone was to get working the way I thought it would work. It gave me a newfound respect for custom autocomplete functions within applications.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I wouldn't have expected it to be that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. In the newest version that is not distributed, it works flawlessly, but it took a while to get there.
Well, that's cool.
And it doesn't help that I have lofty expectations where I expect to be able to manage all of these things in a separate view, where if I misspelled my name for whatever reason and I had it assigned to 12 different entries, I expect to be able to go in and select me as an instructor and to edit it and fix it and have it apply retroactively to those entries. That just seems like good data management. And so having to do that for multiple fields with the autocomplete feature and all as well tied to it, I think I expected a lot out of those feature sets, but I implemented them. So I feel good about it. Like I have a whole separate set of data management stuff that I don't think is in the version that you're running, but it lets you manage instructors, locations, tags, and techniques in that fashion, where not only can you edit them, you can also just select them in that list and see the associated entries that they are attached to.
Oh, that's really cool.
I'm really proud of my data management stuff. It's overkill, but damn it, I wanted it to be something that I could easily edit. And no other app that I've been using for this function has achieved that purpose. So,
I mean, I like it. I like it. But should you be surprised? Because have you seen your home network?
Yeah, I do tend to kind of go overkill when I decide to do something, but it's all right. I did not expect to be spending the last part of 2024 in app development.
But that's awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah, I've had more fun with it than I thought I would. So
we have a number of different ways set up for you to get in touch with us to provide feedback, ask questions, or just comment in about something we've discussed.
You can hit us up on Twitter or Instagram at untitled_hosts, or shoot an email over to untitled.hosts@gmail.com.
Or get in touch directly with Jesse at jthart.com, or get in touch with me, John, via telepathy.
If you would like to support our work or are interested in listening to our new after show feed, head over to patreon.com/theUntitledPodcast and take a look at the options we have set up.
Thank you for listening.
We hope you've enjoyed the show.
And we hope to connect with more of you as we continue this journey.
That's a wrap.